Welcome back to Aria's Diaries. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're curled up in bed, on a long drive, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, this is your space, a space for stories. Last time, a confession in a dark car, a night of quiet understanding and a peace so fragile it felt like holding smoke. Tonight's story is about what happens when that smoke is blown away by a hurricane of rumors, lies, and the terrifying risk of trusting someone with your broken pieces. So, get comfortable. Let the story continue. The tentative truce between Jackson and me lasted about as long as a snowflake in summer. By third period on Monday, I could feel it. The stares, the whispers cupped behind hands, people looking at me and then quickly looking away, smirking. At my locker, Maya was already scrolling on her phone, her face pale. "You haven't seen it?" "Seen what?" She turned her screen to me. My stomach dropped. There, in crisp, damning clarity, was a photo of Jackson climbing out of my bedroom window. The timestamp read 7:06 a.m. He was wearing the hoodie I'd given him. His hair was the familiar, slept-in mess. The caption read, "Enemies to lovers," or just a late-night study session. You decide. Followed by fire and eye emojis. It was posted by Oakwood_T, the school's most notorious gossip account. "Who took this?" I whispered, my voice shaking. "It's all over Snapchat. Someone in your neighborhood must have seen him leaving. They sent it to Oakwood_T. You know she doesn't miss a chance to stir the pot." By lunch, the rumor had mutated. Version 1, we were secretly dating. Version 2, it was just a hookup. Version 3, I'd been desperate and he'd taken pity. Version 4, he was using me to make Sierra jealous. Version 5, we'd been having a secret affair for months. I finally found Jackson by the gym, his jaw already set in a hard line. "You saw," he stated. I held up my phone. "Oh, I saw. I swear I was careful. I didn't think anyone..." "It's not your fault," I cut him off. "It's just Oakwood_T. His eyes narrowed. "She's always hated me." "She hates me now too. Apparently, I'm easy now." His jaw clenched. "If she keeps saying that..." I touched his arm. "Don't. It'll make it worse." He looked at me, his gaze intense. "We can fix this. Want me to say we didn't hook up, that nothing happened?" I hesitated. My first instinct was to hide, to lie low, but looking at him, I didn't want to hide us. "I think we should tell the truth," I said quietly, "even if people twist it." A tiny, surprised smile touched his lips. "You sure?" I nodded. "Let them talk. We know what happened." But the universe, it seemed, wasn't done with its cruel jokes. After school, I stayed late at dance practice, stretching, trying to clear my head. Most of the girls had left. As I passed the slightly open door of the guys' locker room, voices carried out. Familiar voices. One laughed. "No way, dude. She looked totally into it last night at the party." Then his voice. Jackson's voice. Clear as day, rough and too casual. "Look, it wasn't that deep, all right? I was just leading her on." My blood turned to ice. I froze. Someone else chuckled. "No way, man. She looked hard eyes." "Yeah, well," Jackson's voice came again, dismissive. "You know how it is. My dad was on my case again. I just needed somewhere to crash, and she was dumb enough to let me in." The world tilted. I backed away before I could hear more, before the sob tearing up my throat could escape. I walked out of the school, ignoring every text that lit up my phone. Jackson, you good? Hey, can we talk? Please don't ignore me. I blocked his number, or I tried to. My hands were shaking too badly. I didn't cry until I got home, until I was safe behind my locked bedroom door. Then I cried until my head pounded and my eyes were swollen shut. That's when I heard the knock, not on the door, on the window. I didn't move. Another knock. Please, his voice was muffled through the glass. Please let me explain. I yanked the curtain open. Go home. I can't. Not without telling you the truth. I heard your truth already, in the locker room. His jaw tightened. I didn't mean that, any of it. I only said that because... He paused, looking down. My dad's been drilling me all week, acting soft, acting like a damn romantic. He wanted to know why I wasn't home that night. I didn't have the balls to tell him it was because I was with you. I stared at him, arms crossed. So you lied. I panicked, he said, stepping closer to the window. I've never had something like this before. Someone who actually gets me, who makes me feel like I can breathe when everything else sucks. I might be the playboy, the bad boy, whatever, but you know what I go home to. I have to deal with real shit. I looked away, tears blurring my vision again. You made me feel stupid, like none of it meant anything. I know, he whispered, and I hate that I made you feel that way. But it meant everything to me. I just didn't know what to say without sounding weak in front of them. I swallowed hard, emotions twisting into a painful knot. You should have told me the truth before I had to hear you say that. I know, he said, but I'm telling you now. Not because I want you to forgive me, but because you deserve to know the truth. That none of it was fake, not the night, not what I said, not you. Silence stretched between us, wide and deep. And what about the rest of them? I finally asked. Are you gonna lie every time they ask about us? No, he said, his voice firm. I'm done pretending, I swear. I didn't say anything, I just looked at him, at the raw honesty and fear in his eyes. Then, after a long beat, I turned and walked away from the window. But I didn't close it. And I didn't lock my back door. A minute passed. 2. Then I heard the soft click of the door opening. He stepped inside, looking more nervous now than when he'd climbed through my window the first time. I leaned against my wall, arms crossed, keeping my distance. I'm not gonna make this easy for you, I said flatly. I know. I mean it. You said things that made me feel like an idiot. You humiliated me. I know, he said again, softer. And I deserve that. I was trying to act like it didn't matter so my dad wouldn't go off on me again. But I didn't think about how it would make you feel, and that's on me. You didn't just lie, I said, my voice cracking despite myself. You said I was dumb. You said you were leading me on. He flinched, like the words were physical blows. I said it because I was scared, he admitted. I've never had something real with someone before. And when my dad cornered me, I reverted to being the jerk he expects me to be. I stayed silent, arms crossed tighter over my chest, my last shield. I'm not gonna stand here and beg you to forgive me, he continued. I'm not that selfish, but I'll wait. However long it takes, I'll prove to you it wasn't fake. I'll prove I'm not going anywhere. My eyes narrowed. You don't get to prove that overnight, Jackson. I don't want overnight, he said, taking a slow step forward. I want you, and if that means starting over, earning back every bit of trust I burned, then I'll do it. I studied him. The way his voice didn't waver, the way his eyes held mine, no charm, no manipulation, just scared, painful honesty. For the first time all day, the tightness in my chest loosened, just a fraction. But I wasn't ready to fall back into his arms. Okay, I said carefully. Start by leaving. His eyes widened slightly. I need space. Real space. You want to earn back my trust? Let me breathe. He nodded once, slowly. Okay. And if you even think about lying again, I added, my voice firm, don't come back. I won't, he said, not ever again. He turned to leave, pausing in the doorway. For what it's worth, I've never said anything like that to anyone, because no one's ever made me care like you do. The door shut softly behind him. I stood in the silence for a long time, my heart thudding hard and slow. This wasn't a happy ending, not yet. But it was a start. Jackson kept his word. He gave me space. In the halls, he'd nod, but he didn't stop. He didn't smirk, he just existed on the edges of my world, a quiet, persistent presence. A few days later, in biology, Mr. Henderson announced a new partner project. Since your last project was the best in the class, he said, I'm pairing you two up again. No complaints. I stiffened. Jackson shifted beside me. After class, he caught up with me at the door. You want to come over later to work on it? I hesitated, then nodded. Sure. That evening, I walked to his house, notes clutched to my chest like a shield. His mom wasn't home. He led me straight upstairs to his room. It was exactly what I expected, and yet not. A messy bed, football trophies, a faint smell of clean laundry, and boy. I sat cross-legged on his floor while he rummaged for supplies. My eyes wandered, and that's when I saw them. A stack of sketchbooks, half hidden under a hoodie at the foot of his bed. Curiosity got the better of me. I tugged one out. You draw? I asked, flipping open the cover. And I froze. The pages weren't filled with random sketches. They were filled with me. My profile, looking out a classroom window, my laugh caught from across the cafeteria, the curve of my neck as I tied my hair up. Dozens of little, stolen moments I never knew he'd seen. The drawings were good, really good, full of a startling, tender attention to detail. I looked up at him. He had turned around and gone completely still, a deer in headlights. Are these me? He ran a hand through his hair, looking like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. Yeah, I, didn't plan to show you. It just kind of happened after that night. I couldn't stop thinking about you, so I, started to draw. I stared at him, something warm and dangerous blooming behind my ribs. He cleared his throat, trying to brush it off. You always said I didn't pay attention. Guess I proved you wrong, huh? I laughed. A soft, disbelieving sound, and closed the sketchbook gently. You're such an idiot sometimes. Yeah, he said, stepping closer, his voice dropping to a low, rough murmur. But I'm your idiot, if you'll let me be. Before I could overthink it, before I could be afraid, he was kneeling in front of me, his hands coming up to gently cradle my face. He hesitated, giving me every chance to pull away. I didn't. Instead, I leaned in first. The kiss was soft, tentative, a question. Then his hands slid into my hair. I fisted my hands in the front of his shirt. and everything ignited. It was desperate, messy, real. The kind of kiss that made me forget the rumors, the lies, the hurt. The kind of kiss that felt like a beginning and an ending all at once. When we finally pulled apart, breathing hard, he pressed his forehead to mine. "I'm not going to screw this up again," he whispered. "I promise." I didn't say anything. I just closed my eyes and kissed him again. Weeks blurred into a new, fragile normal. We were careful, we were quiet, but we were us. Then came prom. The gym was transformed. Twinkling lights, a cheesy Starry Night sign, a fog machine. I stepped inside in my dress, feeling nervously beautiful. And then I saw him. Jackson, in a simple black suit, tie loose. He went completely still when he saw me. "Wow," he said when he reached me. "You're gonna kill me tonight?" I smirked. "That's the plan." We danced, we laughed. He even let me spin him during a cheesy throwback song, and I cried laughing. During a slow song, he pulled me close, his hands on my waist, my head resting on his chest. "You nervous?" he asked softly. "About what?" "Us. This. What comes next." I looked up at him. "Are you?" He gave a crooked half smile. "Yeah. Every second." And for once he wasn't trying to hide it. We didn't kiss, not then. But the way we looked at each other said more than any kiss ever could. Later, I saw Oakwood T. Her real name was Tori. Dressed like a movie star, clinging to some random date, her eyes darting toward us with a look of bitter indifference. Jackson saw her too. His arm instinctively tightened around my waist, protective, defiant. A public choice. The car ride home was quiet, his hand resting on my thigh the whole way. When he pulled into his driveway, I didn't move to get out. "You want me to walk you in?" he asked. "No," I said, biting my lip. "I want you to come in." He raised an eyebrow. "Through the front door?" I smiled, shaking my head slowly. "The window, like always." 10 minutes later, he was sliding through, quiet as a ghost. We didn't speak. We just stood in front of each other in the moonlit room, knowing exactly what was hanging between us. I reached out, my fingers resting against his chest, over his pounding heart. "Jackson," I whispered. "Yeah?" "I've never done this before." His expression shifted. No teasing, no smirking, just soft surprise, then something gentler, something like awe. "You're a virgin?" he asked quietly. I nodded. "I just wanted you to know." He brushed my hair back from my face, his touch infinitely tender. "We don't have to, not tonight. Unless you want to, I swear." I smiled. "I want to, I want it to be with you." Something fierce and protective flashed in his eyes. "Then we'll take it slow, and I'll take care of you." He kissed me again, deeper this time, walking me back toward my bed. Every motion was slow, deliberate, filled with pauses that gave me space to breathe, to stop if I needed to. We didn't rush. Every touch felt new and electric. When he finally leaned over me, our eyes locked, breaths matching, it didn't feel reckless. It felt like falling into something real. And later, tangled together under the covers, skin warm against skin, he reached for my hand and didn't let go. The next morning, I told Maya and Chloe everything. They screamed, they cried happy tears, they celebrated this fragile, hard-won happiness. A few weeks later, Jackson drove me to the beach at night. The sound of waves was the only thing between us for a while. He stopped walking and turned to me. "I've been thinking. That sounds dangerous." "That night meant everything to me," he said. "Not just the physical stuff, all of it. Waking up and knowing it wasn't a dream," he hesitated. "I know I've been all over the place, but I've never felt the way I do when I'm with you, and I don't want to keep acting like we're in some weird in-between." He took a breath. "Be my girlfriend. Officially, publicly, no games, just me and you." The waves rolled in. I didn't move. "We were never supposed to save each other," I said softly, echoing the words that had haunted me since the beginning. "We hurt each other, that's what we do, so tell me, what are we?" He looked at me, his eyes reflecting the starlight. "We're whatever you want us to be, but I want us to be real." I smiled. Big. Real. No hesitation. "Yeah," I said. "I'll be your girlfriend." He let out a relieved laugh, grabbed my waist, and lifted me off the sand for a second before setting me down and kissing me, right there under the stars, with the sea breeze wrapping around us like a promise. But real in high school is a public affair, and not everyone is happy for you. If you want to know what happens when we make it official, when the backlash hits, and when a graduation night under the stars brings a confession that changes everything forever, you'll have to come back for the final chapter. Thank you for listening, for being part of this journey. This is Aria, reminding you that the most beautiful stories aren't about perfect people. They're about broken pieces finding where they fit. Until next time.